In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game, change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a CUNYAC playoff matchup of women's basketball between the 10 and 14 York College Cardinals and your 14 and 10 Baruch College Bearcats. We're going to send it over to Marty Collins for our starting lineups.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 2020 CUNYAC Women's Basketball Championship. Today's first-round game features the 4th-seeded Purdue College Bearcats against the 5th-seeded Cardinals of York College. Now let's meet today's starting lineups. First for York. At forward, a 5'10 junior from Carrollton, Georgia, number 20, Kelly Nelson. At guard, a 5'9 sophomore from the Bronx, number 15, Christina Sierra. The center, a 6-foot sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, number 12, Matt Dedge, Resources. At guard, a 5'7 sophomore from Queens, New York, number 11, Elma Hudson. And a guard, a 4'11 senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 10, Liana Jacome. The head coach of the Cardinals is Anastasia Vittis. He's assisted by Ray Antonio, Andy Russell, and Pepper Chan. Now this afternoon's starting lineup for your Purdue College Bearcats. At guard, a 5'9 sophomore from Bridgehampton, New York, number 1, Nia Dawson. At guard, the 5'3 junior from Pine Plains, New York, number 3, Francis Matter. At guard, the 5'6 senior from Queens, New York, number 20, Samira Ahmed. At guard, the 5'6 junior from Staten Island, New York, number 25, Melinda Spayu. And at forward, a 5'6 sophomore from Long Beach, New York, number 40, Caitlin Rivera. Bearcats head coach in his second season, Michael Guttrozes. The assistant coaches, Olivia Colbert and Kristen Podlovitz. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and those who protect it, home and abroad, we ask that you please rise, remove all your caps and headwear, silence your cell phones and mobile devices, for the playing of our national anthem.
So we are moments away from tip-off here at the Arc Arena between the Cardinals and Bearcats in a playoff matchup here that winner go home alongside Brian Flannery. I'm David Justin. Brian, exciting stuff. We built it up coming into the last few weeks. We've seen a little bit of a rough patch towards the end of the season for the Bearcats. Now we go into the playoffs against the Cardinal team that we split home and home this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be a very good game here on tap at the Arc Arena. And the Bearcats finding themselves back in the playoffs for the first time in years. So it's a really good test for this young Bearcats team.
And credit to Coach Coachos. I mean, we called it a rebuilding project when he came in last year.
Yep.
2 years, already got the the 4 seed. Have a home playoff game, and just building on it with a really young team, a couple of key pieces, and really seeing some of those secondary parts really come together to make a cohesive unit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really been a pleasure to watch on our end to see the progress and transition year by year. And now the Bearcats find themselves in the CUNYAC playoffs. So with that, we're just about set for tip.
It's going to be Ahmed in the Baruch white on the center circle, and she'll tip against number 12, DeSources, and it goes to York as they push it into the front court, into the hands of Jacome. Ball swung around, now back inside to Melson. Melson backdoor finds number 10, Jacome, and is able to finish at the rim. Nice play there. And York quickly on the board here in their black road jerseys. They'll go right to left on your TV screen. Now Spyu dribbles back out, calls out Coach Rizos' offense. Nia Dawson comes over with the pick. Now she'll set up on the key. Comes over again with the pick. She'll go right. Spyu over to Rivera. 3 there by Snyder. Nope, they're going to say it was a 2. Foot was on the line, so that'll tie things up here. Baruch tied at 2.
See the Bearcats coming with a little bit more of an inside-out game, whereas York has a little bit of a height mismatch down low, so look to the Cardinals to really try to exploit that throughout today's game.
So Jacome has it now. Dribbles up top. Baruch have set up in the zone here in the early going. As they try to get DeSources inside, Rivera working on her. DeSources shot way off, but Jacome comes away with the rebound. 3 ball there by Hodzik. Hodzik shot's no good into the hands of Ahmed, who's able to corral the rebound, gives it off to Spyu, and Spyu's going to push the tempo. Goes right into the lane, dribbles back out, handoff Dawson, thinks about the shot, goes into the lane. Can't finish off left rim. Ball's still loose. Ball's batted away from Dawson. Dawson still fighting for it on the floor with DeSources, and it'll be York who comes away with it. Hodgett to be specific. Now Jacome has it. Gives it off to Hodzik. Spyu comes out to her. DeSources now in the paint. Bounce pass inside to Melson, who's able to finish in the paint.
Real nice feed there from DeSources.
Melson at 5'10", DeSources at 6 foot. Definitely something for the Bearcats to worry about inside, as they've gone all year with a small lineup. Now Rivera, baseline shot, no good. Playing in probably her last home game here at the Arc Arena, as she is a senior. Ball swung inside. Nope, it goes right through the lane. Almost intercepted. Somehow gets across to Hodzik. Floater's good, and it's a 6-2 early lead here for York. Now Snyder trying to go against Jacome. Now out to Rivera. Now Spayu up top. A little jab step, and now she'll call out Coach Rosas' offense. Looking for options. Over to Ahmed. Takes a pick from Dawson. Ahmed, the crossover move. Back out to Dawson. Jab step, working on Hodzik. Now back on top to Ahmed. Ahmed straight on shot. Around and out, no good. Rebounded there by DeSources, and Baruch really settling for some long jumpers mid-range here in the early going.
Yeah, settling's the key word there. Is definitely not the optimal looks that the Bearcats are going for, and just really kind of struggling to get that right opportunity going on the offensive end. And on the contrary, David, York has really come out firing offensively, able to convert, and looking pretty good offensively.
3 of 5 here in the early going for York. And they'll inbound underneath. Set up again a stack on the key. Shot no good there. DeSource is able to get inside and finish. And they're going to call the foul on that as well. So foul is going to be there on number 40, Caitlin Rivera. That's going to be her second in quick succession, and that'll bring Zerpolo into the game. Shot no good. Ahmed gets the board. And it'll be over to Spayu. Now to Zerpolo up top. Handoff to Ahmed. Out comes Sierra to D her up. Handoff to Snyder. Jacome tries to go for the reach. Snyder's going to go past her. Bounce pass to Spayu. Spayu into the lane. Nice move there. Working on DeSources, and that's going to be a foul as she went up trying to finish off glass. No good. But that'll send Spayu to the line to shoot 2.
So once again, you see the Bearcats with a little bit of a blown play there. You saw some of the offensive assignments get mixed up, whether it been in transition and whatnot. So Spayu, though, making a good move, trying to make the best out of a.
And what I find interesting also is, like, even when she goes with that move for the stutter step and the pump fake, the sources with her length, she's able to, even if when she falls for it, she's able to recover that ground so quickly and even contest Spayu's shot there to force her into an awkward opportunity.
Yeah, she can really bridge a gap in that separation.
So maybe a little bit tougher for Spayu today to get some space inside the paint, as we know she likes.
Bearcats coming with a little bit of a press here.
And now Jacome has it on the cymbal. Hand off to Hodzik. Ball swung around to Rivera in the corner. Sierra, excuse me. Shot there. Deep shot, no good by Melson. Rebounded by Baruch, and they have a chance to cut into this deficit a little bit. Bounce pass inside to Spayu. They're going to call a travel. And it's gonna be plays like that Baruch really can't afford to turn it over.
No, absolutely not. This is CUNY playoff basketball, so you definitely don't want to hurt yourself down the stretch.
Once again, the full court press. Jacome's able to cut through that. Has Hodzik outside. She thinks about the shot. Nice pump there. Ball swung around the perimeters. 3 there by Sierra is good. She knocks it down. Her first bucket of the night. And Baruch trailed by 8. Dawson looking for options. Has Spayu pick from Zerpolo. Spayu into the lane. Hop step outside to Ahmed. Pull up shot. Rattles that one home. Nice shot there by Ahmed. Hopefully she'll start getting in rhythm here.
Yeah, and that's that long two we've seen all throughout the course of the season from Samir Ahmed.
Ooh, dangerous pass there. That's going to go off of York last, and it'll go with Baruch. And you can feel it here, Brian, in the early going, how big every possession is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Playoff basketball at its finest. As Destiny Drummond is going to come into the game as number 10, Diana Jacome, comes to the bench. Baruch trail by 6 with the ball. Sierra out on Ahmed. Zerpolo comes out to receive the ball at the top of the key. More like left wing. Now Dawson on the right elbow. Step back free throw line shot. No good off right side. Sierra comes away with it. And now Ahmed rips it from her. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to go back to Baruch. Nice hustle play there by Ahmed. And she was I think she was the only Baruch player still on this side of the court. Almost everyone was getting back on D, and she's fighting for that loose ball.
Yeah, really good court awareness there by Samir Ahmed to trail and then ultimately force a jump ball, and now the Bearcats get another shot to score here.
Snuck up on her a little bit, and now it'll be Spayu to inbound inside to Dawson. Dawson gets a shot blocked. I think it was the Sources. Now it's outside to Zerpolo. It's over to Ahmed on the baseline. She'll shoot. Shot off back rim, no good. The Source Sky for the rebound. She hits the deck, and that'll be into the hands of Drummond. Drummond has it up top, calling for a pick. DeSources comes over, so does Melson. DeSources gives it up. York taking a little bit too much time. Spayo, I think, might have got a hand on that, a cross-court pass. Hodzik comes away with it. She's going to have to drive and do something with it. It's going to be Sierra. Gets up the shot. No good. Ball batted right into the hands of DeSources, though. And she's able to finish around the rim and in. And Coach just wants to talk things over with 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Baruch trail 13-5. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. And both teams break the huddle here. It's midway through the first at the Arc Arena. It's CUNYAC playoff basketball between York and Baruch. The men getting the 2 seed have a bye today, so they'll play Tuesday night. Waiting for later today to see who they'll play. And a home game here at the Arc Arena. So if you're on campus or in the city, please come out and support your Bearcats. But we got plenty of action still left here as Dawson almost throws that one away. Zerpolo's able to corral. Shot there by Ahmed. Off back rim, no good. Dawson, pull up 3, knocks it down, and we need Nia Dawson, if you're the Bearcats, to really start getting into rhythm. The Baruch's leading scorer on the season, averaging a little over 18 a game.
Absolutely, and a really good second effort there by the Bearcats to grab that offensive rebound and then finish with Nia Dawson.
And nice steal there. Drummond threw it right into the hands of Dawson. Almost too easy. If you didn't steal it, you would have got nailed in the face with it. So now Spayu into the lane. Comes outside, Zerpolo, baseline shy. That's good. And Baruch have cut that 8-point deficit to 3. Back-to-back shots there. A 3-pointer by Dawson. Zerpolo knocks down the baseline jumper, and Baruch go into the full-court press.
Yeah, and really effective timeout, clearly, by Coach Trozos to try to slow down some of that York momentum, and the Bearcats came out and scored on 2 consecutive possessions.
And that Dawson 3 was actually predicated on a second opportunity off of a Spayu block. So it's and Drummond finishes. They wanted contact, no call. Excuse me, off a missed shot on the other end. So it'll be Snyder now. Dawson calls out the offense. Hodzik on her. Now to Ahmed up top. Nice little jab step into the lane. She takes some contact. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to go back to York.
And again, the Bearcats just doesn't seem like they're set up offensively they really want. Even some of the possessions they were able to convert on, you're talking long 2s, not a high percentage shot typically.
Oh, nice play there by Hodzik on the 2-on-1. And Baruch's full court press really hurt there as York was able to slice through that. Now Spayu's going to pull up on top of the key, knocks that one down.
And again, if you're going to give Melinda that much separation, I say by all means take that shot. When she actually kind of stepped into that, she was on the fringe between the 3-point line.
Yeah, on top of the key, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to pull up from 3 there, but if she's more comfortable taking the mid-range, clearly to Baruch's advantage. Now Sierra into the lane, a scoop layup, no good. It's going to be an over-the-back foul on DeSources, and that's interesting because I believe that's going to be her second.
Yeah, pretty early. Yeah, pretty early on. She's going to find herself in a little bit of foul trouble here.
And that's going to take a player off who's 6 foot and definitely has had a presence here in the early going.
Yeah, especially
and she already has 5 rebounds here and 4 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, she's made a huge impact on that inside game. So let's really see if the Bearcats can try to take advantage of that now.
Also 2 assists for the big, so very impressive. That brings in Kayla Cabrera, only 5'7", so we'll see if Baruch can capitalize, and that's Frances Snyder knocking the 3 down from the left wing. Big shot there, and Baruch trailed by 2, and you can feel a little bit of energy here from the Bearcats in the Arc Arena.
Yeah, Bearcats doing a great job of really clawing back at that York lead, and now just within a 1-possession game.
And Spyu comes away with the steal. Drummond makes a sloppy entry pass. Now Spyu all the way underneath. Bounce pass to Dawson. Ball swung up top to Zerpolo. Now to Yee, who just came into the game. Dawson, corner 3. Shot no good. Dawson gets her own rebound. Can she finish? She's able to off the back rim. Nice play there by Nia Dawson. And big points there to tie it up. A minute remaining.
And again, it's really been, as far as the first quarter goes, it's been the Bearcats getting those second opportunities to extend their offensive possessions and ultimately capitalize.
Nice backcourt cut there by Hodzik, and a turnover there by Cabrera. She threw it into the back behind the basket. And it'll be Snyder to inbound for Baruch, and Baruch have an opportunity of getting their, I think, their first lead of the ball game.
And also York stringing together a series of turnovers now, David. In a time where they had a pretty comfortable lead, Baruch came back firing, and York on the other side of the ball kept turning it over. So
now Snyder, right wing 3. Sorry, Brian, didn't mean to cut you off there. Off back rim. No good. That would have been big. But yeah, I mean, it's all about York's really, to your point, York has been turning it over a lot on the offensive end. 5 turnovers in the first quarter to Baruch's 2, and Baruch have really been able to capitalize here in the last 2 minutes.
And speaking of that, David, looks like Drummond's going to step out of bounds on the baseline there. So the Bearcats will get the ball back with 18 seconds left and a shot to take the lead going into the end of the first quarter.
And that's going to bring Jacome back in, and I had to see that coming. Drummond hasn't been playing great since she's come into the game here in limited minutes. In 5 minutes, she has 3 turnovers, 2 points, but definitely for how much she's touching the ball at almost 38% of the time when she's on the floor, it's not the type of return you want. Now Yee's 3 off front rim, no good. Ball batted around, out to Zerpolo. Buzzer beater shot off the back rim, no good. That was close. And that'll do it for 1. We got ourselves a great game of CUNYAC playoff basketball. After 1, it's York 17, Baruch 17. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. And welcome back to the Arc Arena. It's start of second quarter here. CUNYAC playoff basketball between York and Baruch, and it'll be Snyder to bring it across the timeline. Jacome just checked back into the game. Picks her up now to Zerpolo. Melson on her. Ball swung around the perimeter. Spyu into the paint. Zerpolo baseline shot, and Baruch have done it. They take their first lead of the night. See if they can continue to build off this. On a bit of a run are the Bearcats.
And again, typically you don't want to settle for those long twos, but when you have Samira Ahmed and Daniela Zerpolo, that's really where their strength lies. So you've seen the Bearcats going right to them and starting to get both girls going offensively.
And Jacome travels underneath, and it's going to go back to Baruch. And Baruch now on a 9-0 run, trailing at 1 point, 17-10. Up by 2 with the ball. They'll see if they can keep the momentum going. And Coach Bittis and the York College Cardinals really have to figure it out before long, because Baruch have looked a lot better here late in the first, early second. Now Dawson, pull-up shot, high-arcing shot, no good. Yee battles for it. It's going to be a foul on Yee. Her and Jacome both hit the deck, and it'll go back to the Cardinals.
You're also going to really want to see Millie Yee get going. And throughout a lot of games this year, she's been the Bearcats' top scorer, or at least coming off the bench, definitely a spark plug. So I think she can really try to capitalize on this deficit now.
Yeah, she got called with a foul on that one, but it was just a hustle play. So I think Coach Coachers will live with that. Now Hodzik, pull-up shot, no good. Long rebound out to Zerpolo. Oh, trying to find Dawson on the lead. Dawson, what a save. Nope, they're going to say she stepped on the line. Either way, it was going back to York, but sloppy play there by Daniela Zerpolo as the Baruch had numbers.
Yeah, it's not a play she typically makes. Usually makes really good basketball decisions, but again, in transition, you understand the urgency to try to score and try to keep tacking on this lead here.
Now Cabrera has it on the right wing. Gives it inside to Melson. That gets stripped. Speaking of who, Zerpolo. Now Spayu hits the deck. Cabrera, I think, is the one that came away with it. Might have taken an inadvertent knee in the back. So 8 seconds on the shot clock. Pull there by Sierra off right rim. No good. Zerpolo comes away with the board, averaging almost a double-double this season. Now Yee has it on the baseline. Pull-up shot off front rim. No good. Jacome comes away with the rebound. Now Melson has it. Crossover move, looking for options. Hodzik up top. Snyder comes out to guard her. Walks her back to the symbol. Jacome goes into the lane. She gets stripped by Snyder. Ball still loose. Bounces out to Hodzik. That's going to be a long two. And it's good. And we're all tied up here again with 7:45 remaining here in the second. Spayu trying to go into the lane. Nice spin move. She falls back. Out to Zerpolo, though. Zerpolo shot no good. She fights for the rebound. It's going to go off Zerpolo last. And it'll go back to York as Drummond will come to the scorer's table to check back into the game, and Jacome will come to the bench. Also to the game for the first time, number 25, Diamond Jackson. Getting her first minutes of the night as Kayla Cabrera will come to the bench. Drummond now to Jackson. Back to Drummond, right wing. Inside to Melson, working on Spayu. Spin move there. Melson's shot is good. Nice play there by York as they found the mismatch inside.
You're seeing York going back to their initial game plan, which is try to work the inside, exactly to your point, David. So see if the Bearcats can continue to stop them.
Now Spayu bounce over to Dawson, goes through her legs. She has to save her from going out of bounds. Gives it back to Spayu. Some sloppy play by the Bearcats. A little two-man game here between Spayu and Dawson. Ball's loose on the ground. And that's got to be frustrating for Coach Coachers there as they were looking for each other and easily read by York.
Yeah, it was a good effort to keep that possession alive. There was a ton of pressure. But unfortunately, York kind of collapsed on that side of the court and pretty easy turnover there.
So now it'll be Jackson over to Drummond. Looking for Melson again. Over up top to Jackson. Her shot straight on is good. Diamond Jackson's first bucket of the night. Afternoon, excuse me.
So York really going on a run here.
A little bit of a 6-0 run now to respond to Baruch's 9-0 run. And now Yee over to Dawson. Swung around to Spayu. Spayu, left wing jumpers. Rattles home. Cuts it back to 2.
We're seeing Melinda shoot a little bit more today.
I wonder if it had anything to do with early on. She had trouble inside working on some of the bigs as York's able to find the bucket there. And Spayu was not able to finish easy, went to the free throw line in that occurrence. But ever since then, we really haven't seen her go back inside, or when she has, she's kicked it out to the perimeter.
Yeah, it's almost kind of forcing her to play away from that inside game, like you said.
Now Zerpolo into the lane. Nice floater there and able to finish.
It's one of Zerpolo's best moves as well, to go in with that floater. Usually there's a little bit of mismatch when you're talking that 4-5 down low, but she's as good as anyone as floating it over them.
able to get into the paint, beat her man, and get inside. So it'll be Drummond now for York on the right side. Pick from Diamond. Drummond doesn't take it. Drummond goes into the lane. Swipe there by Yee. I think it's Zerpolo who comes away with it, though. Up top to Snyder. And off the glass and in. No call as Snyder hits the deck, but we're all tied up at 25.
A great job finishing there by Frances Snyder into what looked like 3 York Cardinals on her.
Now Hodzik will dribble back out. Inside to Diamond. She gets fouled on the floor. Nice smart play by Yee as Diamond had position between Yee and the basket.
Yeah, so I believe that's going to be Yee's second. As looks like Samir Ahmed will sub in for her.
So Melson and Drummond come in as Cabrera and Jacome check back into the game for the Cardinals, and now Hodzik will inbound. Hodzik now into the paint. Nice going through contact from Snyder and able to finish off the glass. Back and forth action here. It's going to be a nail biter here at the Arc Arena. Has that feeling early on as Baruch now trail by 2. Spyu has it in the corner. Coaches also wants more ball movement on the offensive end. Nice crossover move there by Dawson. Snyder, pull-up shot. Way off. That's going to be short. And it's going to be Sierra on the rebound. And now Hodzik's going to push for York. Go right the other way. Can't finish off the rim. And it'll be Spyu on the rebound. Good D there by Spyu. Looked like York had numbers. Spyu gets the ball back right to her as there was a steal. Finds Dawson inside. Wow. How did she slip that pass through?
Yeah, you saw the entire York defense essentially clap on Mel there, but she was able to just kind of sneak it through and found a cutting Dawson who finished off glass. Once again, we're tied here 27-27.
It'll be Hodzik on the right side. Gives it up to Sierra. Shot a little short from top of the key. It would have been 3, and now it's Dawson to come the other way for the Bearcats. It's a baseline jumper from Snyder. No good, a little long. I think it might have grazed iron, but it goes into the hands of Cabrera. And now Jacome has it, and she'll walk things up. Cabrera has it on the left wing. Jacome comes out, gives it up top to Sierra. Ball swung around the perimeter. It's going to be Diamond. Deep shot off glass. Knocks it down. Now Spyu has it. Thinks about the shot. Goes past Cabrera into the lane. A little too strong. No good. Ball's loose. Sierra has it. Nope, it's into the hands of Hodzik on the far side. And she's going to be fouled.
Again, really nice move there by Spyu to go up and under and around and put the shot up. Just kind of rolled out and unfortunately unable to grab a rebound.
A little too strong. I don't know if she realized how close to the basket she was.
Also coming in at full speed too. It's definitely a tough thing to do. So York will
potentially turn it over. Yep, it's going to go into the hands of Zerpolo. Jacome gets gives off the turnover. Now Ahmed's inside. Gives it outside to Dawson. Her shot from behind's blocked, and she gets fouled. Foul there is going to be on number 15, Sierra. I don't know. From our angle, it looked pretty clean. I think it was more so the angle that she came with the block from behind.
Typically, you don't see a block coming from behind that blatant.
Also, Baruch had numbers, too. I think they really failed to capitalize on a great opportunity. I believe it was a 4-on-1 or a 4-on-2 at one point.
Yeah, and then one defender kind of closed in on Ahmed and given York enough time to come back and full strength there. Then Dawson went to pull up. A little bit of an elbow jumper, and then she was completely blocked from behind. So, again, we didn't see a ton of contact, but maybe just the angle enough to warrant a foul call.
Yeah, definitely. They're saying they got her on the hand, so she goes 1 of 2 from the line, and a little under 2.5 remaining here in the second. It's going to be Jacome inside to Melson, who just checked in. The Source is also back into the game. It's going to be a travel on York. I think they're going to call it on Hodzik, and it'll go back to Baruch. So Baruch have an opportunity to retake the lead as they trail by 1. Snyder quickly dribbles, almost got that knocked away over to Zerpolo. Spyu up top. The Source is on her, and I think that's what Spyu is going to have trouble with, working on the Sources as she tries it again. A little short. Ball batted out, and Coach is also a little frustrated with that offensive possession for a right reason. Definitely not how you're going to score inside against the Sources.
No,
I know Spayu wants to get it going, but
you got to play towards your strengths, and you also got to respect the other team's strength. And a lot of commotion down low as York's able to hold on to it.
And the Sources finally able to finish, and it looked like there was some contact. I would think on the Sources' first shot, no call by the refs. She's able to clean up anyway. Baruch trail by 3. A minute and a half remain here in the half. Exciting action here at the Arc Arena. Back and forth game between two tough teams. Now Dawson, pull-up shot from the elbow. No good. Snyder, of all people, inside there. Able to get the rebound in like a sea of bigs. Now Zerpolo, high arcing shot. Way short. And Spayu tries to save it. They're going to say she's out of bounds. And it's going to go back to York. Last 2 threes, though, by Baruch. High arcing shots that were just way short on getting to the rim.
Almost as if York was able to get a hand on it. And
I think some of the closeouts from York, though, have made the Bearcats readjust on their shots. So even if they're not getting a hand, it's almost essentially the same thing because they have to get the high arc on the shot.
Exactly. So underneath the 1 minute mark now.
It'll be Jacome who has it. Over to Hodzik. She's working on Snyder. Nice spin move there by Hodzik. Gets Snyder in the air. Hodzik shot, no good, but again to Sources. Able to clean up the glass. And if you're the coaches of Baruch, you got to figure out how to get her into foul trouble again. Because your best run so far of the game is when she's been in foul trouble on the bench.
Exactly.
Left shot, side shot, no good, and it's York who comes away with it again. 10 seconds on the game clock. Hodzik has it. Make that 6 on the game clock. Hodzik's going to have to do something. Working on Ahmed. Crossover move. Step back shot. Way long. Oh, no good. And that'll do it for the first half here at the Arc Arena. York 33, Baruch 28. A back and forth ball game. Baruch able to claw back into it at the end of the first. York reasserting their dominance here in the second. You're watching CUNYAC basketball live on YouTube channel Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting.
In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game, change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional. In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game, change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional. In New York City, there is a place for people that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, where if you work hard, the possibilities are endless. A place to learn, train, and play. In that order, the City University of New York Athletic Conference. This is where it all comes together. Find your people, be a part of a team, and don't just play the game, change the game. Champions aren't born, they're built. The City University of New York. Be exceptional.
Welcome back to the Arc Arena. It's the start of the second half. It's CUNYAC playoff basketball between the York College Cardinals and the Baruch Bearcats. Baruch trail by 5 going into the second half. Some ground to make up. That will be York ball into the hands of Jacome. It's Jacome, Hodzik, Melson, DeSources, and Sierra on the floor. The same starting 5 for York. Whereas for Baruch, there's a 3 there by Melson. Knocks it down. The 5 for Baruch, it's Spayu, Dawson, Snyder, Ahmed, and Zerpolo, as Rivera will come off the bench here to start the second.
Yeah, so York getting out to a really good start, just coming out, going on the Bearcat side and knocking down a 3, showing right away that they came to play here in the second half.
Didn't see that from Melson in the first. Now it's Ahmed on the jab step. Gives it over, nope, trying to get it over to Spayu, a little too strong, and it goes into the first row.
Again, the Bearcats found themselves in a similar position earlier on in the game, but they just got to really play some clean basketball to chip away at now another deficit.
I think you have to attack the sources inside. The Baruch's best run is when she was on the bench.
Yeah.
Late in the first quarter.
Get her into some foul trouble if you're the Bearcats.
She already has 2, so you just got to work on her a little bit. There's the pick from DeSources. Hodges goes around the one from Melson as well. Now Jacome has it in the corner. Hodzik on the jab step, working on Ahmed. Now inside the sources. Ball eventually gets to her. Oh, she gets fouled and the shot can't go. So she'll go to the line to shoot 2. The source is only a 58% free throw shooter during the regular season. 58 for 100 to be exact. Around and out on the first. So if Baruch's going to foul someone, that's the person to foul. That was Zerpolo's first foul of the ball game. Oh for 2, so a nice foul there. Now Zerpolo comes away with it. Over to Spayu into the lane. Trying to go past the sources. Has Dawson outside. Right wing 3. Shot short, rebounded by Melson for York, and Baruch have to get some of these deep ones to go if they're going to take them. Now York into the front court. Melson on the right wing looking for options. Sierra comes out to her on the right wing. Now up top to Jacome. Ball in the corner to Hodzik. Now over to Sierra. Ball barely grazes iron, and now Jacome comes away with the rebound. Shot as the shot clock expired. No good. The bench was trying to get her to throw one up, but Baruch will come away with the rebound. Bounce over to Ahmed. Ahmed pull-up shot from the baseline. No good. And if your coach coaches those, that's what you have to be frustrated about in the first half. A lot of mid-range jumpers for the Bearcats.
And again, the Bearcats had the numbers advantage in transition there, so to kind of rush a mid-range jumper like you said there.
And one for the Sources underneath on the other end, and that'll get the York faithful on their feet.
So not only are the Bearcats settling early into their possessions, but they're not getting the looks that they want. So they got to slow it down here a little bit, talk it over with Coach Trozos, and try to get some better looks on the offensive side.
So it's going to be a timeout with 7:52 remaining. Baruch now trail by 10 here at the Arc Arena. York have started on a 4-0 run. So it's going to be a full timeout for Coach Coachos, and if you're Coach Coachos, you got to be mad at how they've come out so far. Let up the early three, but then on top of that, you're really you let up the and one on the other end, and then on even more so, you're not really doing anything differently offensively to the first half. You're settling for those mid-range jumpers, deep threes, and not really trying to get inside and force some contact.
Yeah, absolutely. York has really forced the Bearcats into some positions that they don't necessarily want to be offensively, and Baruch has, unfortunately, here in the second half, hasn't really fought against it hard enough to try to break some of those defensive assignments down or really get some optimal looks going.
So the teams are going to break the huddle now. 7:52 remaining, down by 10 here in the third. So plenty of time for Baruch, but now they got to start making that push a little bit, and it'll be DeSources to go to the line for a chance at the and one. Baruch came into the half down by 5. They have an opportunity to trail now by 11 as about 3 and then a potential and one play here for DeSources could start with a 6-0 run for the Cardinals. And DeSources knocks it down. And York bringing out a nice crowd here. It's probably the right side of your monitor on the far side. They've filled up a large portion of that bleacher. Now Spyu has it. DeSources out on her. Really have congested Spyu's game. Snyder now pull-up shot. Knocks that one down. It's going to be a 2. And Baruch get their first basket of the second half.
Yeah, nice job answering back there by Francis Snyder. And if you got to settle for some of those longer looks, that's really who you want to have the ball.
Snyder, very good outside shooter. Entry pass to DeSources, knocked away by Spyu. So it'll stay with York underneath with 19 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. Hodzik to inbound. Crossover from Jacome, now outside to Melson. She hit the 3 there, but instead she'll go inside, trying to get the high arcing shot. No good. DeSources, her shot was blocked. Batted around. Ball still loose, and Spyu tips it to herself. Nice play there. A little inventive to get the rebound off DeSources. Spyu finishes off the back rim. Nice play there. And that was a nice play in transition because DeSources was trailing and allowed Spyu to get a mismatch inside.
Yeah, Mel went to a lot of contact there as well. Able to finish, though. You saw the ball kind of stick around on the rim, too.
Key basket there. Now Baruch have it back down to 7. Melson looking for options. Ball swung around the perimeter. Now it's inside to DeSources. She gets double teamed. Shot no good, and Zerpolo comes away with the rebound. They saw how the defense really collapsed on DeSources, making her get a tough shot. Now Zerpolo, ball swung around outside to Zerpolo. Thinks about the shot. Now inside. Gives it outside to Yee on the baseline. Yee shot no good. Melson on the rebound, but Spyu again able to get inside as she forces DeSources out to the three-point line.
And again, on the defensive side of the ball, you saw the Bearcats crash on DeSources, playing a very good job of help defense there.
See something that they're definitely changed a little bit here in the second half as they were struggling to contend with her in the first. Now DeSources entry pass to Sierra. Now Melson 3, right wing, shot just short. Ball batted around. It'll be Dawson who comes away with it. DeSources trail the play, so if Baruch can get inside, now will be the time. Now Zerpolo goes up over 2 defenders and finishes with the floater. Nice play there by Daniela Zerpolo. She now has 6, and Snyder will pick up Jacome in the backcourt. And a little too aggressive was Snyder. That's going to be her first foul of the evening, and that'll bring Drummond and in for York and Ahmed in for the Bearcats.
Also the Bearcats' 3rd team foul thus far.
Almost halfway gone. Got to be careful and not give York free points here in the 3rd. Also see what Drummond can do. We mentioned on the early going, she had 3 turnovers in almost 5 minutes of play in the first half. So Hodzik shot no good. Rebounded here by Spy. Baruch still cutting into this deficit. Ahmed back outside to Snyder. Oh, she could have pulled the 3 there. Decided to stop, regroup. And actually maybe the right idea there now. She now has Ahmed. Ahmed right into the lane. Can't finish with the left hand. Nice play, though, by Samir Ahmed. And it'll be Melson into the front court over to Hodzik. The Source is inside and able to finish. She got position, and the entry pass was spot on.
And that pass was nearly picked off by Spyu, but unfortunately for the Bearcats' sake, the Sources did have the position, so after she was able to corral the pass, pretty easy finish there.
Nia Dawson now into the lane. Can't finish off glass. Ball batted around into the hands of Hodzik, and York can extend. Drummond, corner 3, shot no good. DeSources bats it around into the hands of Zerpolo, though. Now Ahmed has it, and she gets fouled by Drummond. Only the first team foul. What was most impressive by York, 0 team fouls in the second. Now we're over almost 6 minutes into the 3rd, and that's their first. Way to play tough defense. I mean, limiting Baruch only 34 points here.
But also smart defense by not fouling.
And limiting Baruch to 37% from the field. But, yeah, no contact, so very impressive. As now Zerpolo over to Ahmed. Ahmed thinks about the pump, now gives it off to Spyu. Baseline shot, no good. Ball out to Melson on the rebound for York. And it'll be Drummond to bring things up. It's going to be a jump ball. I think that was Ahmed inside there again. Nice play there, and it's going to go back to Baruch. So a couple of key plays. We've seen that a few times from Ahmed tonight, really forcing the jump and giving Baruch an extra possession.
Yeah, she's really giving the second effort defensively here for Baruch. So York's going to call a 30-second timeout here.
With 3:37 remaining, their lead has been cut to 7. Once was 11 here in the 3rd. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting.
And we are back here live at the Arc Arena.
So Baruch trail by 7. 3:37 remaining here in the 3rd, so plenty of time for the Bearcats. It's Snyder up top, has Drummond on her now to Spyu in the corner. Takes the pick from Dawson. Ooh, had Dawson back, instead cross-court pass to Zerpolo. Shot no good. Ball's loose into the hands of Melson. And once again, Ahmed jump ball, and it's going to go back to York. And Ahmed's been all over it today. And Baruch going to settle for the step into. Oh. It's going to go to, I think Baruch was unsure of who had the ball. And it is York ball. And now Drummond will bring it into the front court. Possession arrow now swings back to Baruch, though, so we'll see if they can force another turnover here. Now to Sources. Drummond back up top to Hodzik. Snyder almost gets the steal. It's going to be a tip. No, there's no backcourt. And it's going to stay with York, but very interesting here. They only have 1 second remaining here on the shot clock, so have to get something up almost immediately. And I would assume the lob to DeSources might be the move. Shot blocked, no good. That's going to be a shot clock violation.
So the York bench calling for a foul, but David, I think
I heard like the slap. I mean, it sounded like there was some contact there.
Definite contact, but maybe what the officials are saying is that it came after the shot clock violation.
That is a very good point. Now Ahmed pulls up straight away, no good. Once again, the Bearcats settling for mid-range jumpers. Playing right into the strengths of York College.
Yeah, you're just seeing Baruch kind of speed up their offensive possessions a little bit. Not that great ball movement that we've seen throughout the past, I'd say, 5 or so contests here, David.
Nice D there by the Bearcats. Dawson going the other way, and she's able to finish off the glass.
Good job by the Bearcats answering back here.
Looks like she played it through a little bit of contact there. Coach was also wondering where the call is, but Baruch have cut it to 5. Ball swung around the perimeter. Have DeSources now 20 feet from the basket. Over to Cabrera, who's just checked in. Her shot no good. Baruch on the rebound. Nice cross-court pass to Spy, who has to save it. Barely does so, right into the hands of Hodzik.
And again, the Bearcats don't necessarily have the leverage right now to speed up some of those offensive possessions.
Shot no good there by Cabrera. DeSources and 1.
That was a really tough finish there by DeSources, who essentially had her back to the rim.
Not only that, I don't know how the ref from outside the three-point line is the one making that call when you have 2 underneath. Very interesting. It's a tough position to make a call from almost 30 feet from the play. And DeSources off on the free throw, but Drummond comes in for the rebound. Now Melson back out to Drummond, and she travels.
See, a good call there by the officials, as that happened right in front of the booth here. So DeSources will check back out, maybe to get a little bit of rest here.
She played the entire third quarter. She still has those 2 personals, so now it's Zerpolo, left wing 3, knocks that one down. Huge shot, cuts it to 4, under a minute left. Only 4 team fouls the entire game for York College.
Wow, especially in playoff basketball.
Very impressive. They're playing tight defense. Now Diamond shot no good. Diamond Jackson shot no good. And that'll send in a line to shoot 2. The foul's on Spyu. She's off on the first. No good on the second, and it's going to go off the hands, I think, of Melson last, and it'll stay with the Bearcats. So 0 of 2 from the line there, so key for Baruch as they trail by 4. Now Spyu right into the lane. He's able to finish at the basket, and it's a 2-point game. And once again, we're seeing York maybe a little bit deficient inside when DeSources is on the bench.
And I like the Bearcats' approach there. Let the rest of the team get down the floor.
As Dawson comes away with the steal there. I think it might have went off the leg of Zerpolo, and trailing back Jackson on the foul. That's only the team's second, so it'll be side out for the Bearcats.
So, David, a noticeable difference in the Bearcats' game plan, which is now it seems to speed it up so much so that maybe you can blow by some of those York defenders. And for the past 2 possessions, one Melinda was able to convert, and on the second, Nia Dawson was able to draw a foul in transition. So maybe that's the recipe here for Coach Utrozos as we go into the fourth quarter.
It seems to really be predicated on if DeSources is in and out of the game, though, and what Baruch's doing. Ahmed, pull-up shot, no good, rebounded by Hodzik. And Ahmed, I mean, just forcing those mid-range shots, does not have it tonight. And if you're Coach Utrozos, you got to think about that going to the fourth. Ahmed is only 1 of 7 from the field. And granted, she's trying to get it going, but Baruch cannot be living or dying by the mid-range. Now Hodzik has it with 5 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Ball batted out to Jacome. She has to chuck a shot. No good. And that'll do it after 3. Baruch trailed by 2. They were down by 6 at half, so they've been able to cut back here in the fourth quarter, they're down 5 at half. They're now only down 2, able to cut back, winning the quarter 13-10 and getting some key baskets late. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of your fourth quarter. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. So welcome back to the Arc Arena. It's fourth quarter action in a CUNYAC quarterfinal matchup between the York College Cardinals and your Baruch Bearcats. Baruch trail by 2 as we go to the fourth. Impressive third quarter, though, as they were able to really score at the end of that one and cut back on the large deficit they faced.
So we have an exciting 10 minutes left here.
Dawson has it now. Now Zerpolo looking for options. Ahmed thinks about the shot again. Now Dawson going baseline. Gives it off to Snyder in the corner. 3 ball there from Snyder. No good. Dawson on the rebound. She can't finish. Will round it out. No good. Ball still loose. Gets it to the hand of Jacome, though. So Baruch trailed by 11 in the third. Able to really cut it back before the start of the fourth. Jacome has it now. Crossover. Takes the pick from Melson. Now another pick for Cabrera. Hodzik has it now. Pick from Cabrera right. Now Hodzik trying to find her inside. Ball's loose. Dawson comes away with it. I think it was Spyu's hand who was in there. Dawson can't finish. They're going to say Clee defense. Coach Catrozos a little bit beside himself on the bench there, thinking there was a foul. Now Sierra's shot, no good. Rebounded by Zerpolo. She gets fouled.
And again, what a wild first minute and 7 seconds here in the fourth quarter as DeSources checks back in. But both teams really just running down the floor, putting up wild shots, and maybe looking for a little contact on both sides. But it's been a pretty chaotic first minute here. So if I were the Bearcats right now, maybe try to slow it up a little bit, try to get a more quality look.
Now Ahmed has it into the lane. And it's going to stay with Baruch. Nia Dawson into the lane. Now gives out to Zerpolo. Zerpolo again into the lane. Nice handoff pass back to Dawson. Back up top to Ahmed. Over to Snyder. Ahmed has to pull with 2 seconds on the shot clock. Way short. DeSources on the rebound.
Bearcats need to stop here.
DeSources gets blocked. I think it was Zerpolo on it. Nice play there from the Bearcats. Dawson's fouled as she goes inside. The foul there is going to be on Drummond. It's going to be her second.
So Millie Yee will check back in, and Samira Ahmed will sub out.
Nia Dawson knocks down the first. Now an opportunity to bring it back tied.
And Dawson off on the second there.
So it'll be Melson to bring it up. Over to Sierra. Now Drummond's calling for it. She'll have it up top. Jab step there by Drummond. Sierra straightaway three. Shot no good. Zerpolo comes away with the rebound. Baruch have a chance to take the lead. Over to Spyu. Has the trailer and Snyder. Nope, instead Spyu takes it in the lane. Gives it off to Snyder now. Knocks it down, and Baruch have their first lead since I believe the second quarter.
So good job by the Bearcats. Again, not settling on that look there, dishing it back out to Snyder.
Baruch starting to tighten up the D. Now DeSorces has it on the left wing. Hand off to Hodzik, over to Sierra. Pull up shot three, straight on. Line drive shots, no good. Melson chases it down, tries to save it. Ball's loose. It's going to be a foul on Sierra, and it's going to go back.
Again, the Bearcats really turning up the pressure defensively. And you're also seeing now York settle for some shots with another straightaway three that they're unable to convert with.
Bit of a line drive shot there, bro, from Cabrera. Yee now into the lane. Outside Snyder's going to pull a three. She knocks it down. Francis Snyder. And that excites the bench of the Bearcats and gets some of the fans on their feet. 4-point lead for Baruch. And it's going to be a timeout with 6:36 remaining. Baruch have 4-point lead, their biggest of the night. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. And welcome back to the Arc Arena. Baruch lead by 4. It'll be Hodzik to inbound right in front of us for the Cardinals. Finds Melson inside. Now going to go to work in the post. Shot way strong. Over the rebound, over the head of DeSorces. Spyu comes away with it. Almost lost it, but now she'll be into the front court. Gives it off Snyder to the hot hand. Baseline shot, no good. Right into the waiting hands of DeSorces. 13 boards, 15 points for number 12, Macdedge DeSorces. Having a very solid game here in the playoffs. Melson now has it up top. Working on Zerpolo. Spin move now. Inside to DeSorces even further. Ball batted around. Not able to knock that down over Spyu. Good defense there by Baruch not to foul. Nothing else you can really do there.
You're seeing a lot better job help defense down low by Baruch. Able to get some extra bodies down low to counteract some of that size differential.
Now Dawson has it up top. Gives it over to Zerpolo. Zerpolo step back, rattles that one home. And it's going to be a full timeout for Coach Cocherzos. A little more than 5.5 remaining here. This is playoff basketball, CUNYAC action to be exact, at the Arc Arena between York College and Baruch. We'll be right back with more here on YouTube channel Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. And welcome back. Both teams break the huddle. It'll be York ball. Baruch lead by 4.
Watch it back! Watch it back!
And trying to get the ball into Sierra. They do eventually. Very dangerous as Dawson was all over her. Like I said, Baruch's largest lead of the night is right now as they lead by 4. Looking for options, though. Nice crossover there by Drummond. Almost loses it, though, and Hodzik has it up top. Looks like York struggling really to get settled. Now DeSources gets it inside between Zerpolo and Spyu and able to finish. Jacome waiting to check in for York. Midway through the 4th quarter here. Ball swung around the perimeter. Crossover by Spyu. Bounce pass up top. Nia Dawson straight on 3. Off left rim. No good. Rebounded by Sierra there, and it'll be Melson over to Drummond to bring stuff up into the front court. The Sources now. Elbow jumper. Knocks that one down over Spyu. And we're all tied up. Back-to-back buckets there from DeSources. Dawson shot was blocked. Nope, they're going to save. She threw it out of bounds. And it's going to go back to York.
As looks like Jacombs is going to check back in for Drummond. And you're really seeing the effect that DeSources has for this York team really over the past few possessions, whether it be on the offensive or defensive side of the ball.
And it'll be Melson on the right wing over to Hodzik, excuse me. Jacome now into the lane. She gets fouled. And it looked like she got ball, and Millie Yee wants an explanation. It's going to be on her. And it's going to be 2 shots for Jacome now. Jacome, the second best free throw shooter on this York team. Not a good free throw shooting team as a whole. Only shoots 53% from the line, but Jacome shoots 62%. No good on the first.
And again, you saw Millie Yee get pretty much all ball there. Obviously, there's a lot on the line here. Things moving quickly, but not our favorite call, as Jacombs is good on the second.
So 1 of 2 from the line for Jacome. Baruch trail again. It's a little bit of a 5-0 run here for York. We get to the 4-minute mark in the 4th quarter. 1-point game here at the Arc Arena. Ball swung around the perimeter, now in the hands of Spyu. Step back shot. Nope, DeSources steps back out on her. So it'll be over to Zerpolo. Now Dawson over to Spyu up top. Spyu's going to pull. Top of the key shot. No good. Rebounded there by Hodzik. Hodzik going right into the lane. She gets fouled by Zerpolo. Sloppy play there if you're Zerpolo, because it looked like Hodzik went into the lane pretty wild there. Not sure she would have finished either way, and now she'll go to the line to shoot 2, a 62% free throw shooter on the season. And off on the second. It'll be Zerpolo on the rebound. Baruch have numbers. Over to Dawson. Up top to Spyu. Had the open look. Instead, crossover move. Working on DeSources. Outside to Zerpolo. Zerpolo, high shot. No good. Rebounded there by Hodzik. She's double teamed, and they're going to be called a foul in the backcourt on Spyu. And that's going to be the team's only the team's 3rd, but unfortunately, it's going to be Spyu's 4th. So she's got to be careful.
No rush!
Baruch trail by 3. 3:10 remaining. Melson has it. Up top to Hodzik. Trying to give it to DeSources and almost forcing it to a little too much as it went into the behind the stands. And it'll be Baruch's ball, a chance to tie here. And the York crowd getting loud here. Now it's Snyder inside to Dawson. Free throw line shot by Dawson, no good. Rebounded there by Sierra. A good look though for Nia Dawson. Now Jacome will bring it into the front court. Snyder picks her up at the midway line. Looking for options, finally gets it to Hodzik. Ball swatted there by Dawson. It's going to go off Jacome last, and it's going to go back to Baruch. And Dawson down for a moment as she's slow to get up.
So it's going to be side out for the Bearcats here. 2:27 remaining as they trail by 2.
And it's key for Baruch to find a good look here. They've had two back-to-back possessions here of nothing doing on the offensive end, and Dawson off on the last shot. So definitely need to get a little something going. Yee now, deep three. Millie Yee knocks it down and gives Baruch the lead. What a shot by Yee. On the left wing there, Baruch lead by 1. Jacome brings it up for the Cardinals. Now Melson out to Sierra to answer with a 3 of her own, and they do. York College. And now Dawson thinks about the shot, draws the defenders out. Up top to Spyu, ball swung around into the corner. Corner shot there from Yee, no good. Rebounded there by Jacome. Hodzik now in the other way, curls back. Up top to Melson. And smart play there by York to slow things up.
Yeah, Bearcats really need to stop here so they can keep it as a one-possession contest.
Dawson out on Jacome. Hounding her. They're going to call a block, and that is a terrible call. I mean, it looked like she was going down already when the contact came. So,
especially this late in a CUNYAC quarterfinal game, obviously these calls carry a little bit more weight when you're talking a one-possession game.
It's going to be a full timeout. The minute and 14 left. As York and Coach Bittis want to talk things over. You're watching Baruch basketball. It's playoff action here at the Arc Arena on YouTube channel Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. So welcome back to the Arc Arena. York lead by 2, 54-52 to be exact. It'll be their ball on the far side in the offensive end. Oh, inbound almost stolen there. Yee tried to go for it. Now Jacome has it up top. Snyder picks it up almost 35 feet from the basket. Really D'ing up. Now it's inside the DeSources. She's fouled on the floor. Basket's not going to count. And it'll stay with York College underneath.
Now that's the Bearcats' 5th team foul.
So it's going to be it's going to be 2 shots here at the line either way for DeSources, but only like we said earlier, 58% free throw shooter, so definitely someone for the Bearcats that you want at the line. Off on the first, just short.
That's a key miss there for the Bearcats because they know even if DeSources connects on the second, they can still tie it up with a 3-ball.
60 seconds remain here exactly as DeSources knocks down the second. And I think if you're Baruch, you just got to get a basket. Doesn't have to be a 3 yet.
Yeah.
Now Dawson has it up top. She'll pull the shot off left rim. Ball's loose, and it's into the hands of the Sources. Who else on the defensive glass? And I don't think you foul right here. Coach does not want them to foul. And he, I think, Dawson went for the foul there. Now it's Hodzik inside. Her shot's blocked. It'll stay with York. Timeout for York. It's going to be 30 seconds here at the Arc Arena, but really key. Baruch forced York now down to the final 6 seconds on the shot clock. And if Baruch could get this ball back in a one-possession game, 15.2 remaining here. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. Let's go. So welcome back here to the Arc Arena. 15.2, three-point game. York to inbound. Into Hodzik. She gets fouled. Shot's no good, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2. And the winner of this trying to going to Brooklyn College on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. As Hodzik off on the first. Okay, here we go. Probably the biggest free throw of the game here. So far, at least. Still 14 and a half remaining. And knocks home the second. And it's going to be a Baruch timeout. 14 and a half remaining. Baruch now trail by 4. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcat Broadcasting. So 14 and a half left. The York College faithful here feeling pretty confident as they lead by 4. Biggest possession of the game here for the Bearcats, though. Can they get something to go on the offensive end? Dawson now has it in the corner. Pull-up shot. No good. DeSources got for the rebound. She's quickly fouled. Only a 58% free throw shooter. And that's going to be Spyu's 5th. So Caitlin Rivera back into the game. Really surprising. Snyder was hot there, I think, a bit in the late 3rd, early 4th, and they really got away from her late in the game. And betting on outcome here, it may be tough for Baruch to get back into this one.
Yeah, of course. But you saw Snyder really put the Bearcats back into it, and it's unfortunate that she didn't have the ball in her hands too much late down the stretch to be able to try to continue some of that momentum. But again, some of those possessions are so tough to get quality looks. When you're talking 15 seconds left, you need to score twice.
The Source is off on the second. It's going to be a timeout for Baruch. And like you said, Snyder not really seeing the ball late, leading the team in scoring with 14. But it's going to be a 30-second timeout for the Bearcats. We'll be right back. You're watching Baruch Basketball Playoff Edition on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats Broadcasting. So welcome back. 7.1 remain here in the ballgame. Baruch trail by 5. It'll be their ball, though. Spayu is fouled out. Now it's at the Yee. Has the corner 3. Shot no good. It'll be Rivera out on it. Gives it out to Zerpolo. She pulls a 3 herself. No good, and that'll do it here at the Arc Arena. It is York College moving on to the semifinals. They'll play at Brooklyn on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And granted, not the outcome that Coach Dos was looking for, but if you're the Baruch, front office or anything, you've got to be really happy with how they're looking long term. As it was supposed to be a rebuilding year. They go 14-10 in the regular season and a 4 seed, and you really see some growth of some of these players.
Yeah, year by year, you just want to continue to grow, develop, and build, and you've seen that within this women's basketball program. So really, the sky's the limit. Everything's looking up for this team. Of course, a tough loss here at home, but best of luck to York as they continue their CUNYAC playoff run now against Brooklyn on Wednesday.
Yeah, and you have a lot of returning players. It's really only Ahmed and Rivera you're losing. Ahmed really coming in as a great role player, but you keep Spayu, you keep Snyder, you keep Dawson, you keep Yee, who's really shown out this year. Val Michu will probably have a bigger role next year. And as York celebrating with some of their fans over there, but definitely a good sign of good things to come if you're the Bearcats of Baruch.
Absolutely, David. So, who knows who we're going to have coming in next year as a freshman or transfer as well. So
one thing I say they will need, though, they definitely need a little more size in the interior. You saw DeSources tonight. Monster game from her, as she had 23 points and 16 boards, 7 of them on the offensive end. Not really enough for the Bearcats to really counteract that.
Yeah, as long as the Bearcats can kind of fill a little bit of that hole down in that 4 or 5 position, I really do think the sky's the limit for this team.
And you're talking about a rebuilding team that went 14-10, so they're still building on top of these key pieces.
Of course.
You build some bigs around that. It's going to be a really tough team for other teams to come into the Arc Arena and face, as they started. You saw some of that this year. Maybe a lot of inconsistency. You'll see more consistency going into the next year, but that'll about do it for us here at the Arc Arena. It's been a great season for the women. Like I said, 14-10, and they will have the potential for an at-large bid in the ECAC here as a little postseason tournament. So maybe it won't be the last time we see this edition of the women's team, but they have a lot to build off for next year. So that'll about do it for us. Once again, your final score in the quarterfinal matchup: York 57, Baruch unfortunately 52. This broadcast has been in conjunction with the Baruch Athletic Department, the women's basketball team, and the CUNY Athletic Conference. For Brian Flannery, I'm David Just. Have a great night, everybody.